I guess we started right now. Yes. Okay, guys. Hello, everyone. Today we're gonna be talking about for mobile game industry, especially for the user acquisition part and the monetization part. And today, again, I'm really with the really important business company, like, sorry for that, really important businesses from mobile industry. And Claire is with us today, as you can see from the Puzzle Society. Hello, Claire.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. Could you give a short brief about yourself and your company, please?
Yes, so I'm the founder of the Puzzle Society. It's a community on invite, but open to everyone if you do the form, basically. And we focus on puzzle. It's a lot of folks really passionate about puzzle, so it's really nice to all communicate. We have a Slack channel and so on. And I also work at Rovio. I'm UL lead at Rovio, so I work on some puzzle like Small Town Murder, and some other, but I think I will speak a bit more about it later.
That's great. That's great. And I believe that you're going to share really important highlights with us today. And Damla is with us. She's the co-founder of AppNava. Hi, Damla.
Hi, Canberk. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Maybe you can also give short brief about yourself and about AppNava.
Of course. Actually, I'm the data scientist, and now we are I'm doing the founders and the CEO things for AppNava, but my main major is the being data scientist. And we are creating the solution for the mobile game industry to do some data things better with us, to predict the behavior of the players and changing the game depending on this behavior. And our main target is to, of course, increase the retention and the LTV of the games. We are here to make them much more profitable, actually. I'll give more details on my presentation, probably. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much. And for the final speaker, Murat is with us, and Murat is also going to share really important highlights with us. He's the iOS developer and community builder at Adapty. Hi, Murat.
Hi, everyone. It's really great to be a participant here. I'm really excited to talk here. I'm normally an iOS developer, and now I'm working at Adapty.io and community builder. I'm building Turkish community of Adapty, and yeah, I'm really excited to talk.
Yeah, that's great. And I believe that I think this is really important for the audience right now, because we will be talking all the user acquisition part and the monetization part, which is really getting attention in the market. And we are getting questions, a lot of questions about these issues actually from the audience. And if you allow me, I'd like to start first for the user acquisition part. And I want to share some insights of the market, current situation of the market in 2022. And let me share my screen with you, and we can start from the user acquisition part. Everything's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And let me also get you a short introduction for SocialPeta. We are based in China. We are providing ad intelligence services for mobile applications. That means you can analyze your competitors' ad data and get ad data from networks, media, and advertisers around the world to inspire you and get you much better marketing strategies. And right now we are able to provide 1.2 billion ad creatives from 96 countries and on 70 well-known ad channels like Unity, Twitter, and YouTube, Facebook, and any other channels. I will also give you some details about our tools at the end of my presentation. And let me also show you our media partners, especially that we are collaborating with, based in Turkey and globally. So today I will be talking about at first some short insights into global casual mobile game marketing, and then we will also analyze the past half year, how was the markets globally. And today I want to focus on the match 3 games because it's really increasing and being popular nowadays. And I will give you also some insights for the match 3 markets. Then for the final part, I will share some details about SocialPeta. And I want to share this chart with you as it's also a big proof that after the pandemic, the market is being more stable and normal. And in 2022, we saw an obvious decline in creatives for the casual mobile games. And especially when you check the last year, it was around 3 million in total. And right now we are seeing this amount 1.47. It's almost a half actually. And the reason of that, right now, the market is being more stable, and the audience amount that you can reach per creative right now is more or less because people are spending less time on their mobile devices than before, especially during the pandemic era time. It was also there was a big change with the last year. Almost 2 years actually, when the iOS also published their new privacy rules. And when we compare right now the Android and the iOS advertisers, Android advertisers accounted for 74%, much more than iOS advertisers currently. And when we also check the creative amounts, and on Android, it seems much more creative amount than the iOS. There are also reasons of that, the first, those new privacy policies of iOS, and of course, with the Android, you are being able to reach more audience, for your content and everything. Of course, we can still discuss which one is more valuable, is Android or iOS. But we also see the market is changing according to that way. As a second part, I also want to share the past half year, the top casual mobile games, and I want to show the charts of the top games for the download part and the revenue part. In the past half year, and we don't see a big change actually for non-hyper casual genre. And of course, the hyper casual genre is always changing. We see some important players in the market, and as successful publishers, they are still having the peak games, and but especially the top ones are usually match 3 and the non-hyper casual genres. When we check the revenue chart, it's also probably my friends today are gonna be talking about more about the revenue part and monetization part. So what is the reason of these genres have the highest revenue? But I just wanted to show the latest chart of the past half year. So these are the casual charts for the iOS and Android. That also can give you an idea for which genre you should be focusing on. We see we are seeing the strategy and puzzle games are really leading the market currently, especially in the casual genre on iOS side. And for the Android one, we see a lot of match 3. I will be also sharing some match 3 details with you after this slide, and it's coming here. So on the third part, there are some really good match 3 games examples that I would like to share with you. So right now the current the match 3 genre is being added with some another side games, for example decoration. And right now they're currently the mainstream, but traditional match 3 games, they are still a prominent share in the market. But we are seeing like some differences, as you can see here. Okay, the Candy Crush is the great example for the traditional mastery. But all others they added also the decoration part, because on the traditional ones reduced the retention actually, and that's why they want to add like some like side games like the decoration or makeup or something else. And Candy Crush didn't get affected by this too much, because they are on the market for a really long time and they have a like solid audience, and which are not leaving the game actually, whatever happens. But for the others one, like we see the decoration is a big effect with the mastery games. And there are also differences with the country like distribution. And for example, in the Asian market, the homescapes is really like popular, especially in like Taiwan and China. Of course, USA is the one of the main market. But for example, the gardenscapes also the most popular one in the Europe region. So there are also differences. It's also about the gameplay and the game design, and everything affects the market actually, especially in geographical way. And we should also be focusing on that, like why in Europe the gardenscapes are more popular, our homescapes is more popular in the Asian side. And here are the revenue chart of each games, and that's why we also today want to like get the user acquisition part and the monetization part like together. And we're going to be discussing also what are the reasons, for example, why Candy Crush are getting like that high amount of revenue, and which is like over $305 million actually. Really great amount of revenue. And then the others are coming. Project Makeover are coming the latest, because they also published the game later than the competitors. And we are seeing really high revenues in this genre. And here are the like actually evolution of mastery games, and they're like getting hardcore, like especially for the mastery and the decoration. Right now is the new version of mastery, and markets like get really big interest in this like combination with mastery and the decoration. And so right now they are planning to appear like mastery, like plus like business simulation, also like puzzle simulation, and so new like genres will be added to mastery in the new version. Right now we are expecting that. And in the same games, like as you can see for the like mastery, like business simulation or maybe the puzzle will be a big genre for to combine with the mastery. And so we need to be catching actually these trends, especially when we want to like produce the high revenue of game, like instead of like fast consuming like hyper casual, like more stable and long life cycle games. We should also be catching like these trends, what the market is evaluating. And I also want to share some creatives for the mastery games in 2023. And I would like to also play them to give you a great idea. These are the latest creatives for these genres. The left one is from the homescapes. Let me first show you the creative. So we know this style actually, like first we are showing the problem to the audience, and then we are showing the ways to fix it. And usually the fail is also getting great reaction and impression from this kind of creatives. As you have seen here, like there was a like problem inside the apartment, and when they tried to fix the problem, so there was a fail, and this is increased in the impression, especially for this like mastery samples. And this is really effective way to get the impression. And the right one is like from the gardenscapes. the similar one, so pulling the pin. There were also a lot of like criticizing in the market about this kind of creatives, because when we check the market reviews of this kind of games, like people were complaining about why in the creatives they were seeing the pulling the pin games, but during the game there wasn't any kind of like genre like this. Then some games added this also features to their games to also satisfy their creative audiences. Let me get the next one. So the left one is from the list. So these are the like traditional match tree, we can say, but we are seeing the impressions are really high. For this genre, we should be focusing on the maybe a little bit older audience actually than the younger ones, because they are being more like loyal to your games when once you catch them, and their impressions and their like making revenue rates are being really higher than the young generations. And that's why the creatives are also prepared according to like their requirements and necessities, and what it like most of the companies are focusing on what that audience category would like to get. This is really like typical one, as you know, like traditional one, and also the right one, just similar. There are also like some like escaping or like emergency situations that you need to fix. Also, like in previous webinars, I shared this data with our audiences, like how this like fail or emergency situations are getting the impression higher. And for the last part, I want to share with details what exactly we are doing and what we are providing. And I already told you that we are on the 70 countries and almost 70 networks, and we have 1.2 billion ad creatives, which is making us different than our competitors actually. And we are also being our audience able to filter all these games and creatives by categories. But we know that categories are not enough, because, for example, for the casual category, there are a lot of different themes like city or like puzzle or like jump or free fall. So you are being able to filter these creatives according to your game theme as well. So you don't need to check all the casual or all the hyper casual categories to get the right results. Plus, we are also, as you can see here, we're also providing to making research abilities on all the networks to our clients. Sometimes like some clients are also focused on the Korean and Japanese networks. We also provide this data to our clients. And our other difference is we are also able to get you the insights of cost of Facebook. Google is also coming soon, and we are planning to establish it this year. And right now, the Facebook cost intelligence feature is open. And so by this way, like before you start your project, you are being able to what is the average like CPM, CPC, or like CTR levels of your like game genre. So what would it cost for you if you like get some amount of impressions? And then we are also like making our like clients to get to find the secrets of CPA, like purchasing, or if you have like non-gaming applications, also add to cart costs, we are providing in our data. And the next important point, of course, to analyze the competitors are really important, because once you know on which network that you should publish your creatives and on to which age that you should focus on, or to which gender that you should focus on, all these data are really critical, especially before you publish the game, before you prepare the creatives also. Because if you actually like don't get this kind of data, so it seems like there is a like small boat in the big ocean. So there is a big chance that you would get lost in the big ocean. And so we are just like providing the guide for you on for your specific product, which network and which audience is more suitable. So at first I share our like media partners with you, and these are the global partner companies that proudly that we are collaborating all over the world with these like global partners that are like service providers like Facebook, Google, or like Tencent. They're also like gaming companies, which are really like strong like globally, also in Asian side. And we also gonna publish some specific like the case studies also in Turkey. So these are the like some short comments from our important clients that will be also published as a case studies on our website. If you have like any other questions, or if you also need this presentation to get analyzed with more details, you just like can let me know on LinkedIn, or you can just like send me a WhatsApp message, whatever is suitable for you. And I will be appreciated to help you and assist you to what is the best solution actually for your needs. You can also like follow our LinkedIn page for the company. We are like publishing some white papers there like constantly. And when we organize like this kind of webinars, events, you will like know as first. And we are also providing like top charts, like some trending news from the market, industry insights. So if you like would follow our Instagram page, and you will get all this information in the first hand. Thank you for listening. I also don't want to take my friend's time so much. Maybe I talk too much, I don't know. Yeah. And let me quickly check our question parts. Okay. At the end, we will get the questions. Okay, let me check my schedule. Okay, now I want to give the presentation turn to the Claire, and probably she will be talking about some like business insights about the puzzle games, right, Claire?
Yes, thanks a lot. And it was a really interesting presentation. So I think it's really nice. And so let's go on my presentation. So hello everyone. So I said I'm from the Puzzle Society, and I work at Rovio. If you want to join, it's really easy. You scan the QR code and you have a small form. But I'm going to speak about puzzle creative and puzzle strategy that you can have in user acquisition to get to know if your creative can scale and how to iterate on it, and also what are currently the creative trends that you can see on the market. So I'm Claire. I work on several games at Rovio that is leading the puzzle category. So I was really inspired by the presentation before. I work on Small Town Murder, Sugar Blast, and some other games. And by the past, I also had the chance to work on some FPS games, social casino games, merge games, idle games, and also dating applications. So now I want to speak about creative strategy, because it's something we are speaking a lot, and there is actually one design that is the iteration design that is used a lot in user acquisition, and I wanted to focus on it today. But of course, it's not. There is not one approach only to do a great creative strategy, and of course, case by case, you need to adapt it to your needs. But basically, I would say that this iterative approach will help you to fight against the creative fatigue by doing weekly iteration. So at the beginning, you begin with two concepts that you put one against each other, and then you iterate. So with the iteration, you can iterate on the audience, like male audience, female audience, and you see what is best performing. Is it your UGC concept, and on which audience as well? Because like it's really important nowadays to have a creative as well that speak to a good audience as well, because of privacy, and because we are losing a lot of IDFA, and maybe with Android Sandbox, some other granularity of information later this year or next year. So to measure usually what I learned with this method, that is a Bayesian calculator. So it's something you can find online, and you can add your amount of success that you have depending on if your KPI that you want to reach is a click and install and so on. And you have basically a result. It's used usually in product A/B testing, and I find it really insightful as well for user acquisition. Now speaking about the creative trends, so I took several slides. We already have some, but basically of what I see on the puzzle genre. So there is some trends that are spiking up, like the UGC content, for instance. Here you have some really nice creative with Angry Birds Journey, for instance, that did a really cool influencer campaign. And one of the things you notice in all those ads, and it's not only ads from Rovio, is that more and more we see people in front of the camera really speaking to you, and it's one of the best practices that you can have in the puzzle genre. Another one is a strong use of text. It's actually used in all genres, because now on Facebook you don't have these rules that used to say you should not use text on creative. Now the content is consumed on the go, and people, they actually read your subtitles. So if you can use some text, I think in your puzzle creative, it's definitely something that I see across the market that is made by people in puzzle. What is done as well more and more is to use more and more free content, and not only on the character, but also actually on the matchable. So you see, for instance, here you have some really nice ad from Puzzle Bar, Color from Antia, for instance, and your matchable are 3D. So it's really something that is used more and more. Another funny trend is the baby season. Like the storytelling part is a part in puzzle that is working really well. And actually now it's not only gameplay creative or only story-driven creative. In puzzle, we really see a mix of both, and especially on Google, for instance, it's working really well when you use a mix of both, and I think even on Facebook. And actually, there is a lot of baby on ads, so maybe it's something that would work for your attention without doing any stereotype. Of course, it's really important to have responsible ads. Another funny thing is the sleeping season in puzzle. So summer is coming, and actually a lot of people are using now this chill sleeping vibe on creative that is really funny, and actually will catch my attention. So I understand why it's used. Something else that I saw lately that was really interesting is the level experience that is really highlighted on the creative. You see, for instance, Candy Crush that is even changing the end card with play the epic milestone level, play now. I think it's really interesting to see how now the product experience is highlighted in advertising. I think the live ops experience is really what makes the difference. So if you can advertise on it, it's even better, and it should not always be only a fail or a win, but it can be as well a level increase. And actually this used to be used a lot on the idle creative. So I think it's a good learning that puzzle games now is getting. Another thing that I think is highly related to all what is storytelling is the secret part that was easily used by merge mention and that was then reused by Royal Match. So it's really interesting to see how Royal Match is changing their creative strategy. They even did some influencer content lately, and now they are going more also into some experimentation that looks like the creative of merge mentioned. So it's really interesting to see all the stories as well are more and more copycat by each other, and how we all learn from each other to produce creative. Then on the creative trends, the element outline is not something specific to puzzle, but it's something that is used easily. So here you can see basically the yellow outline and a green outline as well, and it's used a lot. It's a bit like a tutorial at the end of the day, because really often you have the end that goes with it. But it's really interesting to see that it's used really in all genres, and I think it comes straight from hypercausal, which used to have with black outline that used to reduce the CPI. On the creative trends, there is definitely as well this set the fire trend. So there is of course ice, there is sun, but there is also fire. A lot of people are using fire. So you see again some Angry Birds 2 creative, some Clash of Clans creative, some merge mention creative, and to last as well. So fire is something that is also used a lot. It's a bit like something that is on stressful emotions. So it's used like this. On the emoji, so the emoji is also something that comes from Playrix and other hypercausal title, but it's used a lot. Basically, you are doing you transcript your emotion with your emoji, and it's something that usually grab quite well the attention, and that is used in several puzzle games. Another best practice is really like to use full screen creative, especially on TikTok. So here you have some creative from Clash of Clans, but also Candy Crush that is doing it really well, where basically you take all the screen of the ad platform when you do an ad, and those ads usually are prioritized by the algorithm, and especially on TikTok. Another thing is the use of real device. So here you see Macarena from Clarion, for instance, that is doing it quite well. Basically, you are going to film some gameplay on usually an iPad, because it's a bigger resolution, and you advertise on this, and it looks a bit more native. And last but not least, I think it's take the temperature. So no matter the season, we still see those snow creative that are really, really interesting. Even if we have the sun creative spiking up with the swimming pool, we still have some really interesting winter creative. So thanks a lot. I think I did 10 minutes. That was the goal. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach me. And you can also join the Puzzle Society to have more insights like this. You can just scan the QR code, or you can reach me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Claire. That was really, really insightful. Thank you so much to share all these like creative styles, like what are the getting the most impressions, and what are the most popular ones. And also at the end of the our presentations, we will be short discussing about like these stuffs a little bit. And we also have a questions, but I think we better answer the questions when we all finish our presentations in the Q&A session. And now Damla is gonna take the lead for the speech. Damla?
Hi. Thank you. Okay, I'm
You
sharing
there,
my
right?
screen. Yes. And one. Yes. Today, actually, I first started with this monetization part of the mobile game, and I will talk about a little bit the escape network and privacy part of the after iOS system. Actually, I think that those tools are highly related with each other, especially for iOS 15. Everything's has to be changed about the monetization. I try to explain both of them, and I mostly talk about the in-game personalization to handle that kind of a problem. Yes. Okay. What is in-game monetization? I'm sure that all the audience knows what is it, but I would like to just mention a little bit. It's about just making money from mobile game. And it could be with free-to-play game, it could be the paid games. And today I mostly talk about the free-to-play game. I'm not talking about the paid games because the market-leading games are coming from the free-to-play game, and I try to explain the strategy for them. And for free-to-play games, monetization part, that could be the two-way. One of them is the in-app purchases, the another one, the in-app ads actually. And I'm sure most of you knows that what is the in-app purchases. You can sell two kind of a product, consumables and non-consumables. Consumables are mostly in-game currencies and the one type of using boosters, that kind of things, and the non-consumable parts like the selling the heroes or completing the one kind of a levels is like the permanent things. And for in-app ads, this could be the interstitial, rewarded videos, and the overwalls ads. And in our industry, mostly interstitials and rewarded videos are the preferred by the game studios. When we compare the value generation of these two kind of games, these two kind of ads, actually, interstitials has a little bit lowest value generation because it's like the around for eCPM part, actually, it's like the $46. For the rewarded videos, it's like to $10 to $50 a range for the eCPM. And it depends on the game times, but you can choose one of them. The overwalls, has the extra added value for games. You can ask to complete some interview, complete some queries for your players. And it is also money generating part, but it's not common in games actually. Let's go. And okay, I mentioned about the monetization. What is the monetization? And there's some problem for the monetizing the money and the generating the money from the mobile games. I think that there's two challenging things. One of them is the retention problem. Most of the games are, I write wrong, the players. It's writing that the players actually. Sorry. Most of them are lose their players in 7 days, like the 95% of players. And of course, the in-app purchases, but only the 2% of players are complete the in-app purchases. So we need the players, then keep them in longer in the game to generate the money, to watch more rewarded videos or interstitials, and they have to complete some in-app purchases to generate money too. But these tools are the most common problems in the mobile game, and we know that the possible reasons could be our market is highly competitive, and now it's hard to find the targeted players. And thanks to the iOS 15 and the next coming Android privacy, they changed the app tracking and we couldn't target our players in the right way in a previous version. And of course, inability to analyze and interpret the data and the actions in our game. And the most common problem in game is that the talent acquisition and the talent retention, because we know that it's hard to hire the well-qualified person in our studios, then we educate them and suddenly they change their game. This is the biggest problem also. And for iOS part, and we have two points of problem. This problem is like a sub problem of the other one. And for iOS 15, for privacy change, as far as all know, that the iOS developers now must have to request permission for tracking. And after iOS 15, the opt-in rate is almost like a 25%. We just tracked the 25% of our players, and it makes our user acquisition job a little bit harder and challenging for us. And for that reason, for user acquisition part, studios only receive the anonymous data, and its data is hard to use actually because of the tracking system. And this causes the increase the CPIs and not significantly and meaningfully increased actually. And this causes the, of course, low return of advertisements because of the iOS 15. We have three main problems: retention, in-app purchases, and of course, user acquisition costs in mobile games. And for all this problem, the solution is the in-game personalization. But in here, I'm not talking about the customizing the characters or heroes in the game, not the dressing up your characters in the game. I'm talking about the changing the game design for each players. For example, you can change and organize a different game level for me and for the other players. Like, you should touch them personally. And for this changing game in a user level, in a player level, it's coming from the know your players. First, you have to know that your players type. It could be the in-app purchases, it could be the rewarded video lovers or interstitial lovers, or maybe the high retention people or low retention people. You have to first detect your player segment. And it can be possible with using the data science and then real-time prediction. When they start to playing the game, you can suddenly predict their next behavior. You can predict how long will they play, how much they will spend. You can directly find their segment. And at this point of view, actually, for the monetization, you have to prioritize the data science, especially for the small studios founders. They have to be put their data head on to, because maybe you are not doing the user acquisition in-house, but you have to do data science in-house, or the founders actually have to do that kind of data analysis things. And what is data science? It is mostly about the model development, prediction model development, and by using the data from the early play sessions like that, let's say that previous players' behavior, we take that data and generate more sophisticated and robust model to predict the value of the players. It means that normally we can create some rule-based things to analyze our players and segment them. With data science, the models are learning the previous behavior of the players, and then they use this model to predict the new ones. Actually, we can say that, okay, the new people downloaded the game and they started playing the game. In their first session, we can detect their future behavior because we know that there was someone in before and they actually play similar. And we say that, okay, these people playing like an in-app purchaser, or this player playing like a churn people, he will probably churn in 3 days, because we know this kind of a behavior in the previous version. So with this method, we can methodologically improve the play experience and boosting the KPIs. I would like to explain a little bit visual things. And we know that the players leave game or spend money for some reasons, and we try to find that reasons and they make them as like actionable. And let's say that our user acquisition team onboard 100K players to our game, and we know that in their second day, 85% of them left the game because of the maybe ads that you show. Maybe they don't like the interstitial in your game. Maybe they don't like the frequency of the interstitial, or maybe they don't like the rewarded videos, content, something like that. We just try to find the reason that why they churn or why they left our game. And the rest of it, the 15K of players continue to playing in their third day. But in their fifth day, 5K of them left the game because of they cannot be successful on the 8th level or stage 8. They are challenging at the 8th level and they cannot feel successful and they quit the game. And then we say that, okay, this left because of the level 8. And it gives information about actually your gameplay and your game funnel. And this is like automated funnel that shows the bottleneck point of your game. And just an algorithm create that kind of a funnel, not a rule base, just algorithm track the all behavior of the players and detect the funnel. It is something like that. It is the data science. Actually, this is the decision tree method. We know that the most important things for the day 2 retention is online match, number of online match in level 3, and wallet balance in level 4, and the session duration. We can say that they are leaving our game because they cannot complete the enough number of match in level 3. Maybe they are waiting too much for the matchmaking system. Maybe they don't like their matching people. And when we come to the level 4, maybe they are in a shortage of their coins because they cannot spend more coin to continue on the level 4. We are here to help actually game designer to solve that kind of a problems. And this is one of our success stories, to make it much more exemplified and the imagine on your side. Let's say that we have the number of players, and in their first session, we predict their future LTV in a user level. And we say that if we detect some people, they will spend less than 10 cents, we say that there's a worthless player group, and we detect that they will spend more than 10 cents. We can say that, okay, this is a valuable person. If they cannot generate any money for our game, we say that this is worthless player. We should change something for that people. And we start to show extra interpretation for that group. And it makes sense because we can increase the LTV of the players. Actually, we double the LTV of this segment, and also their retention their 40-day retention rate is increased 2 points. Then we understand that the upside part of the group are much more familiar with the interstitial. They are okay with the watching interstitial. They retain more and they left more money for the game. The important thing is that at the beginning of the game, we should know our players and change the game depending on your expectations. Yes, this is the another one, and this is the retention model. In here, we try to detect, will they play more than a 7-day or less than a 7-day? If we detect that they will play less than a 7-day, we can give extra rewarding action for them. Okay, we found that some people and player, they will play less than a 7-day. We give them an extra consumable rewarding things. And so actually they can, with this rewarding things, they can become more engaged with the game and they start to retain more in the game. At the end of the day, their 7-day retention of this game increased 24%. And also because, and first they start to retain more, and they also get some good things about their rewarding things, and they spend money. They will also start to spend money on the game because they use some coins and get used to using some coins, and they want to purchase more. And at the end of the day, also their LTV of that game increased 55%. This is another funnel. That's I'm sure that all game designers and developers familiar with the player's journey and the funnel system. These data science methods generate the automated funnels for your game. For escape network part, and after the iOS 15 and the iOS said that we generate another privacy-friendly change for your iOS part. And the main goal of that part is to actually keep the privacy higher and also keep the the developers say, and they said that okay, with this iOS part, you can create some value for your new players and you can feed this value to our system. And this is the SCAT network. They said that, okay, we will share all data with you and you can feedback our system with the qualification of the players. And they also mentioned another things, this is the conversion value. And the SCAT network and the conversion value. Conversion values are the 6-bit value, and this is defined by the ad networks or the app. Your ad networks can define that one, or the game developers can define that value. And the conversion values range between 0 to 63. And it shows the relevance of your players to your game. If you give a single player, you say that his conversion value is 60, it means that this player is highly related with your game. And this player is really good for your game. If you set up a conversion value like a 5 for another players, it means that these players are not good for your game. And feeding back this kind of information to the iOS, they try to optimize your advertisement and the user acquisition for the ad networks. They send back to this value to the ad networks, and Apple say that, okay, Facebook, you should focus on that kind of a people for that game, because this kind of a peoples are better for that game. It's like a feedbacking system, and for now, the game studios and developers have to feedback the conversion value to optimize user acquisition. And here, the importance of data science again for the data analysis. And we know that with the data science, data analysis people can estimate the LTV of each players. For every single players, we can detect their feature LTV. We can say that Damla will spend $10, Canberk will spend the $100. So Canberk will be the whale for us, Damla will be just a dolphin for us. With this prediction system, we can predict the future value of our every single players. Then we can calibrate the player LTV relationship. We can increase the LTV segment of Damla by showing extra interpretation or giving extra rewarding videos. This is another option. And also, we can estimate retention day of every player. If we found someone play like 2 days, we can boost their retention day by giving rewarding things, by showing some features of our game. We just make them to retain and engage more. And also we can understand the interactions of the players with our game. For example, for level difficulties, we can understand that what kind of players have some trouble in the level 2, or what kind of players are troubling even tutorials. We can detect and change the game design for that kind of players to keep them engaged. And of course, we can collect lots of information and we can exchange this information for a game designer to optimize the all game mechanics. For marketers, is mostly related with the SCAP network. For now, marketers have to set up conversion value to be successful for user acquisition. For that kind of a stage, they can get the highest quality of user for their game, and they can allocate their marketing budgets by depending on this value. They can allocate their budget for the different ad networks. They can say that, okay, we got the most powerful players from the Facebook. Okay, let's increase our bidding system for Facebook. They can change that kind of things, and they can optimize and ensure that they can move forward with acquiring the players with the highest LTV. At the end of the day, it seems like a little bit confusing, but after we apply that kind of things, the results mostly be promising, because you can use data in a better way to optimize your game and user acquisition part. For our site, I'm sure that we are leader in making game more profitable, because we are just focusing on increasing the LTV, retention, and the average revenue for a person. And by just targeting the right user, because everyone is different in many ways, we cannot offer the same things for every place. We should target our players in the right way we should offer the different and the personalized marketing things for them also at the right time. Because let's say that we find Canberk will play just 3 days, we should touch Canberk with special offer in second day, because before he will churn, actually we should touch the Canberk and give extra things to keep in longer. And I mentioned the problem, the retention problem and the in-app purchase rate, and of course, low return of advertisement because of the iOS 15. And that problem we just offer to, and we mostly help game studios and publishers to learn from their own data and the accurate data. They have lots of data, but sometimes they have time shortage, a human resource shortage to analyze the data. And we are here to help them to boost their data analysis and data science system. Most of the studios, the bigger studios, have the data science team, data engineer team. Actually, they are lucky. And with us, they can allocate the retention and LTV model to us, and their data science and data engineer team can focus on more specific models, focus on more specific problems. For them, we handle the retention and LTV models. They focus the other part. For small and mid-sized studios, actually, we can handle the all data science solutions. And of course, I mentioned a lot, personalization the game by getting to know each players individually. We know each players individually, and we try to change game by user level. It's like that. Like Emily, she started playing the game. We know that she will probably reach the level 12, and her LTV segment will be the low. Okay, we should say that her conversion value should be 6 because she is in the low LTV segment. And then Henry started the game and he was playing, he will probably reach the level 10, but his LTV segment high because he will probably complete the in-app purchase in his fifth session, somewhere here. And we say that, okay, he's a valuable person for us. Let's say the conversion value that we set higher conversion value for him. And the purpose is that for the user acquisition, SGET Network Park, you only have the 24 hours to update your conversion value and update the iOS about your quality of your players. For that reason, studios first need to find the LTV segment of players in a 24 hours and also calculate the conversion value depending on this LTV segment and update that value to iOS, this conversion value, to optimize ads and the user acquisition budgets. At the end of the day, their edit value sometimes changing, but at least we increase the LTV like a minimum multiplying with 2 times. And for retention part is like we always decrease, focusing on the decreasing the churn. And it's like increase minimum 20 to 30% retention increase. And at the end of the day, we are here for the time saving and the human resource saving. If the studios don't have a data team or they plan to hire a data team, we are here to save their times actually. Yes, this is the end of my presentation. I hope that it's full of information and useful. And this is our website if you like to check and sign up. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Damla. That was really amazing, and I'm sure that people will show high interest, especially of this part of the webinar. And we also, as a SocialPeta, we really recommend AppNava. We know their services, and we know how high quality services they are providing to their clients as well. And these tools are really beneficial, especially for the studios which like they don't have a huge team to work on it. So you are actually automatizing everything and helping the studios to get their best monetization parts. Thank you so much. And
thank you, John.
Right now we gonna continue with Murat. Murat sunumu Türkçe yapacak. Bu bölümü Türkçe devam edeceğiz. Zaten şu an katılımcılarımız Türk katılımcılar aslında ama biz bunu tabii daha sonrasında da recorded olarak da kullanacağımız için bu bölümü de bu şekilde belirtmek istedim. Murat, sen başlayabilirsin istersen.
Evet, teşekkür ederim. Canberk'in de dediği gibi ben Türkçe devam edeceğim. Umarım faydalı olur. Hemen ekranı paylaşmak istiyorum. Evet. Şu anda herhalde bir gelmedi ama biraz bekletiyorum. Var mı acaba? Görüntüleyebiliyor musunuz şu anda?
Gelmedi hala galiba.
Evet. Ne yapabilirim? O zaman sunumsuz devam edebilirim isterseniz. Görsellerimiz vardı ama Zoom'dan
İstersen
kaynaklı. Şimdi
şöyle de yapabiliriz. Sen sunumsuz başlayabilirsin. Bana sunumu gönderirsen ben buradan seni takip ederek ben devam edebilirim.
o zaman olur. Ben şöyle bir paylaşayım. Öncelikle kusura bakmayın bunun için.
By the way, we have a question from Burak. I was planning to answer it at the end of the presentations, but I think we can also answer these questions while we are waiting for the PPT. Burak is asking, what do you think about NFT blockchain gaming sector? And it will be a new accepted business model like in-app purchases in short term. Do you guys have any opinion about, like, can we connect NFT and blockchains with in-app purchases actually? Or you can also answer the question by how is the NFT blockchain gaming right now in the market, and general opinions about that.
I think, to be honest, like, it's totally different. Even when we speak about the audiences, it's of course gaming is covering all the world. So I wouldn't say like there is no overlap, but NFTs and blockchains are working really well in APAC and South America, for instance, and also like the way you are selling NFTs and blockchain games is really different. So you need as well to calculate a different kind of LTV. You have a lot of organic and community building, but you don't have as much, I would say, in free-to-play games, even if you always have this social aspect. I would say in play-to-earn games, it's really like what happens, like basically to enter in a game, you need to pay. So you need to be super attractive and get a really strong marketing and community building. So I think it will be something different in my sense than free-to-play. Like the same as we had the transition pay to play and free to play. I think it's going to be something different, especially on the game design, economic design of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I also think that right now we are having a lot of like NFT blockchain mobile games in the market, and some games are allowing their users to earn NFTs or like cryptocurrencies during the game. So of course it will be available to make in-app purchases and during the game. And I think this is the way how they are evaluating, in my opinion, because I don't think like NFT games will like connect their like wallets with like Google Pay or like outsourced like payment systems. I think they will be keep doing this with their own ecosystem. So I agree actually with that, in my opinion as well. And Murat, sen hallettin sanırım.
görüntüleniyor galiba.
Evet, şu an geliyor. Hı hı.
Tamam, harika. Bir anlık bir hata oldu ve onu hallettik. O zaman ben
By the way,
başlıyorum.
thank you for your answer. Yeah. Tabii abi, buyur.
Teşekkür ederim. Şimdi mobil uygulamalardan gelir elde etme ile ilgili sunuma başlıyorum. Aslında ağırlıklı olarak bütün konuşmaları dinledim. Gerçekten çok güzel veriler, bilgiler verdiniz. Ben daha çok aslında mobil oyunlar dışında oyun dışı uygulamalardan bahsedeceğim bugün. Hem de biraz çeşitlenmiş olur. Ben söylediğim gibi Adapty şirketinin Türkiye toplumunu yönetiyorum. Aynı zamanda iOS geliştiricisiyim. App Store üzerine çalışıyorum. Hemen hız kaybetmeden devam edeyim sunumda. Şimdi bu sunumda bugün kısaca nelerden bahsedeceğim onlardan söz etmek istiyorum. Bir uygulamadan ne kadar kazanılabilir? Neden para kazanmak için, gelir elde etmek için mobil uygulamaları tercih etmeliyiz? Uygulamanız var ama gelir elde etmeye hazır mı? Gelir elde etmek için hangi yöntemler var? Bunları kısaca bahsedeceğim aslında. Daha çok abonelik yönteminden bahsedeceğim. Daha sonra hangi strateji size uygun, sektörün geleceği vesaire gibi birkaç bilgiden daha bahsedeceğim bu sunumda. Şimdi öncelikle size birkaç veriden bahsetmek istiyorum. Android ve iOS uygulama gelirlerinde bu en son 2021'in 3. çeyreğinin verileri bunlar. Gerçekten 2020'de 111 milyar dolara ulaştı. Bu veriler aslında bütün uygulamaları kapsıyor. Yani oyun uygulamaları, işte bütün kategorileri kapsayan bir değer buradaki. Yani mobil uygulamaların gelir düzeyi, kullanıcı para harcama düzeyi gün geçtikçe artıyor diyebiliriz. Ve yine çok önemli bulduğum şuradaki sol taraftaki görselden bahsetmek istiyorum. Bu Sensor Tower'ın en son bir verisiydi ve burada görmüş olduğunuz gibi 1 milyon dolar gelir ve üzerine çıkan yayıncıların sayısı 1000'in üzerine çıktı. Bu gerçekten çok büyük bir rakam. Yani mobil endüstrinin ne kadar büyüdüğünü ve hızlı büyüdüğünü buradan görebiliyoruz. Ve görmüş olduğunuz gibi şu sağ taraftaki verilerde de üretkenlik ve spor uygulamalarında yüksek artış görüldü 2021 yılı içerisinde ve benim de üretkenlik productivity kategorisinde tavsiye edebileceğim bir kategori olarak söyleyebilirim, belirtebilirim. Şimdi şöyle düşünürsek bir uygulamanız hazır. Gerçekten güzel bir fikriniz var ama ne yapmanız lazım? Bu uygulamaya para kazandırmak için neler yapmanız lazım? İlk önce yapmanız gereken rakip ve pazar araştırması diyebilirim. Ve sizlerin bundan önceki dinlediğim sunumlarda da işte SocialPeta ve diğer şirketler gibi şirketlerin de verilerinden faydalanmanızı öneririm sizlere ki bu veriler eşliğinde yapacağınız gelirlerinizi, modelinizi belirleyebilirsiniz diye belirtebilirim. Başlangıçta yapabileceğiniz 3 temel adım var aslında uygulamanızı gelir elde etmeye hazırlamak için. İlk önce dediğim gibi rakip analizi çok önemli. Platform özelinde incelemeniz lazım ve gelir modelinizi belirlemeniz lazım. Bundan önceki sunumlarda dinlediğimiz gibi iOS, App Store ve Play Store arasında gerçekten çok büyük farklar var gelir modelleri açısından ya da siz bir oyun mu geliştirdiniz yoksa bir oyun dışı uygulama mı geliştirdiniz? Bunların senaryoları da çok farklı. O yüzden ilk önce bir platform ve kategorideki analizleri çok iyi yapmamız gerekiyor. Daha sonra en son aşamada da gelir modelimizi belirlememiz gerekiyor. Biz rakip incelemesi yaptık. Benim tavsiyem 5 ve 10 en az arasında rakip belirleyip en yüksek gelir elde eden rakipler arasından belirleyip daha sonra bu rakiplerin gelir modelini analiz ederek buna benzer bir şekilde gitmemiz gerekiyor. Bu nedir derseniz sizin kategorinize alışveriş kategorisi diyelim. Bütün uygulamalar reklam yoluyla para kazanıyorsa siz de burada paid ya da abonelik geliri hedefliyorsanız belki de işiniz zor olacaktır. Aslında bu yüzden rakip analizi yapmanız çok önemli. Ve gelir stratejileri neler? Aslında temel anlamda 5 strateji var. Ben dediğim gibi bugün 4. abonelikler üzerine biraz konuşacağım. Ücretli paid uygulamalar artık günümüzde %5 kadar bir uygulama kullanıyor. Az kullanılan bir yöntem. Uygulama içi satın alma, bundan önceki sunumlarda zaten güzel örneklerini dinledik in-app purchase'larla ilgili. Uygulama içi reklamcılık yine çok güzel bundan önceki sunumlarda bunlara değinildi. Ben dediğim gibi abonelik subscription based uygulamalardan bahsedeceğim. Ve neden abonelik modelini tercih etmeliyiz? Burada aslında şu sağ tarafta görmüş olduğunuz veriye bakarsanız özellikle iOS'te App Store'da Büyük bir uygulamaların büyük kısmının subscription'lar üzerinden ilerlediğini görebilirsiniz. Play Store'da bu oran düşük olmasına rağmen gün geçtikçe yine yükseldiğini, harcama oranının yükseldiğini çok rahat bir şekilde söyleyebilirim. Sürdürülebilir bir iş modeli oluşturmak için. Yani burada ne demek istiyorum? Kullanıcılar size belirli periyotlarda, haftalık, aylık, 6 aylık gibi süreçlerde sürekli ödeme yapacakları için siz iş modelinizi daha sağlam adımlarla atmış olacaksınız abonelik modelini tercih ederseniz. Dediğim gibi artı yönleri, tabii ki eksi yönleri de var her yöntemin olduğu gibi. Artı yönlerine bakarsanız sürekli bir gelir sağlarsınız. Bunu göre hedeflerinizi daha doğru tutturabilirsiniz. Düzenli kurgularsanız gerçekten sadık müşteriler elde edip sürekli ödeme aldığınız için işletmenizi sürekli büyütmüş olacaksınız diyebilirim. Eksi yönleri tabii ki de abone olmaya ikna etmek zor. İnsanlar bu uygulama neden paralı vesaire gibi birçok şey söyleyebiliyor. Bunların önüne geçmek için de bazı taktiklerden faydalanmanız gerekiyor. Yine verilerden bahsedersem 2021 yılı içerisinde gerçekten küresel tüketici harcamaları özellikle burada %23'lük bir artış var Google Play tarafında. Gerçekten yüksek bir oran var diyebilirim yine verilerde ve Avrupa'da en çok harcama yapılan ülkeler arasında United Kingdom, Almanya gibi ülkeleri verebilirim. Bu ülkelere de abonelik gelirleri için kullanabilirsiniz. Hedefleyeceğiniz ülkeler olarak kullanabilirsiniz diyebilirim. Tabii ki abonelik modeli göründüğü kadar kolay bir süreç değil aslında. Entegre etmesi, işte refundlarla uğraşması, ödeme sorunları yaşaması vesaire gibi birçok sorun ve sıkıntı yaşanabiliyor bu konularda. Şimdi biz de burada adapte olarak size aslında bu işlemleri çok kolay bir şekilde, basit bir şekilde hepsini tek bir tool'da yapmanızı sağlıyoruz diyebiliriz. Neler sunuyoruz? Biz aslında iOS Play Store, Unity, React Native, Flutter gibi birçok SDK desteğiyle aboneliklerinizi analiz edip daha sonra paywall'larınızı, ödeme ekranlarınızı A/B testing yaparak geliştirip kısa bir süre içerisinde gelirlerinizi arttırmayı hedefliyoruz. Dediğim gibi şurada mesela örnek bir şekilde iOS 5 satırlık bir kodla gerçekten aslında hedefimiz yazılım kodlama süreçleriyle uğraşmanız yerine artık sizin tamamen paywall sistemleri üzerinde uğraşmanız için işleminizi kolaylaştırmaya çalışıyoruz diyebilirim. Ve görmüş olduğunuz gibi analiz, gelişmiş analiz sistemleri ve kohort analizleriyle birlikte aboneliklerinizi kolay bir şekilde ve görmüş olduğunuz gibi %23'e yakın bir şekilde aboneliklerinizi arttırmayı sağlıyoruz diyebilirim. Ve kısaca burada yine geliri arttıran özellikle mobil uygulamalarda geliri elde edebildiğiniz, kullanıcıya satın aldırabildiğiniz tek ekran paywall ekranı. O yüzden bu ekranı çok iyi analiz etmek ve oluşturmak gerekiyor. Bununla ilgili kısa bazı adımlardan bahsedeyim. Gerçekten en önemli özellikleri premium yapın. Yani kullanıcıyı satın almaya yönlendirebilmek için tüm özellikler yerine can alıcı özelliği premium yapın. Paywall gösterim zamanı gerçekten çok önemli. Doğru fiyat ve doğru zamanda gösterilen paywall işe yarıyor. Kullanıcıya paywall göstermekten çekinmeyin diyebilirim her zaman. Görsel ve videoları içeriğinizi anlatacak şekilde en iyi şekilde kurgulamaya çalışın. Kısa ve öz cümleler kullanın. CTA tekstlerinizi sürekli test edin ve A/B testler yapın. Şimdi tabii ki yine burada rakip analizi şart ve birazdan anlatacağım şeyleri her kategoride uygulayacaksınız diye bir şey yok. Sürekli test etmemiz lazım dediğim gibi. Ve paywall'u ne zaman göstermeniz lazım? Ben şu 4 özelliği mutlaka öneriyorum. Satın alımların trial başlatma oranının en çok olduğu aslında alan onboarding'den hemen sonra paywall gösteren. Özellikle United States kullanıcısını hedeflediğiniz zaman göreceksiniz ki onboarding'den sonra paywall gösterdiğinizde satın almaların çoğu burada gerçekleşecek. Daha sonra uygulamayı tekrar her açtığında paywall gösterin. Önemli bir özelliğinizi kullanmadan önce gösterin. Ve bu özelliği kullandıktan sonra satın almadıysa tekrar gösterin. Dediğim gibi paywall göstermekten çekinmeyin. Yine hangi özellikleri sınırlamalısınız? Sadece burada aslında birkaç yöntem var. Sert bir şekilde bütün özelliklerinizi de kısıtlayabilirsiniz. Ya da birkaç örnek, özellik, içerik gösterip daha sonra paywall gösterebilirsiniz kullanıcılar için. Bazı temel şeyleri geçiyorum ama onun dışında mesela artık uyarı metni, metni kullanmak zorunda değilsiniz. Burada şöyle bir ipucu vereyim. Kullanıcılar biliyorsunuz televizyon reklamlarında küçük tekstlerle hızlı hızlı alttan geçer ve siz ne olduğunu anlamazsınız. Bu kullanıcıda ters bir etki yaratır. O yüzden paywall'larınızda şu şekilde küçük metinler kullanmamanızı öneriyorum. Sade ve anlaşılır olmasını öneriyorum. Hatırlatıcı kullanabilirsiniz. Görmüş olduğunuz gibi bunu en son geçen aylarda Apple'da önerdi. Şu Blinkist tarzı dediğimiz paywall yöntemi kullanabilirsiniz. Onboarding sürecinizde kullanıcıyı satın almaya ikna edecek bir süreç oluşturmaya çalışın. Burada gördüğünüz tam anlamıyla bunu sağlıyor aslında. Güzel bir onboarding'den sonra gerçekten iyi kurgulanmış bir paywall gösterirseniz kullanıcıyı satın almaya ikna edebilirsiniz diye söyleyebilirim. Ücretsiz deneme sunmanızı öneriyoruz. Bu bizim Adapty iOS raporundan bir veri karşımızda. Bakın en çok ücretsiz %61 3 günlük deneme sunuluyor uygulamalarda, en az da 1 aylık ücretsiz deneme. Kullanıcılar deneme imkanı bulduğu zaman satın almaya daha çok yöneliyor diye söyleyebiliriz. CTA tekstleri mutlaka kullanın. Yani subscribe now, upgrade to gold, upgrade to pro gibi ve butondaki CTA tekstlerini mutlaka sürekli değiştirin. Ben şöyle bireysel olarak karşılaştığım bir şey söyleyeyim. Sadece şu buton tekstini Continue'dan Start Free Trial'e çevirdiğimiz zaman bile gelirlerde %30'dan fazla artışı gördüğümüzü bireysel olarak söyleyebilirim. Gerçekten tek bir cümle değişikliği bile gerçekten çok büyük bir etki yaratabiliyor. Ücretsiz deneme varsa insanlar ücretsiz şeylere daha çok ilgi gösterir. Bakın free, her yerde böyle free trial, start free gibi. Bunu mutlaka çok yerde kullanın. Bunun da etkisini göreceksiniz diyebilirim. Ve bu yeni bir taktik aslında. Bakın genellikle dediğim gibi ücretsiz denemek istiyor kullanıcılar ve bu kullanıcıları kaçırmamak için şu tarz taktikler kullanabilirsiniz. Bir butonla birlikte normalde denemesiz satacağınız ürünü direkt peşin satmak isteyebilirsiniz. Ya da emin olamayanlar için free trial seçeneği ekleyerek bu kullanıcıları da kaçırmamanızı öneriyorum size. Ve her zaman satmak istediğiniz ürünü ön plana çıkarın. Bakın burada zaten direkt gözüme yıllık plan çıkıyor. Biz her zaman daha yüksek paketi satmak istediğimizi biliyoruz sektör olarak. O yüzden bakın burada bir yıllık planı öne çıkarmışlar. Bunu da tavsiye edebilirim. Ve önemli bir ayrıntı söylemek istiyorum. Kesinlikle Apple paywall konusunda çok hassas. Yani uygulamaların en çok reject dediği kısım burası. Hatta uygulamaların kaldırılmasına kadar gidebilen bir süreç var. O yüzden kesinlikle kullanıcıları kandırmıyoruz. Yani ama ufak kelime oyunları yapabiliriz. Mesela burada 1.99 dolar aylık yazıyor. Aslında bu 1.99 değil. Yıllık 12 ile çarpılacak ama kullanıcı bunu ilk başta gördüğü zaman sanki daha ucuzmuş gibi geliyor. Bakın aylıktan ucuz gibi. Aslında biz daha fazla para alıyoruz. Buna Apple bir sıkıntı çıkarmıyor ama tabii ki burada gerçek fiyatların olması lazım ve kullanıcıyı kesinlikle kandırmamamız gerekiyor. Bu Apple'ın en çok dikkat ettiği hususlardan birisi diyebilirim. Ve paywall'da kesinlikle kullanıcı yorumları, ratingleri kullanmaya çalışın. Bakın çok önemli. Burada artık ben şöyle paywall'lar görüyorum. Sadece kullanıcı yorumundan oluşan başka resim, görsel hiçbir şey olmayan. Çünkü biliyorsunuz alışveriş yaparken bile hiç kimsenin almadığı, yorum yapmadığı bir ürünü almak dahi istemeyebiliyoruz. O yüzden başka kullanıcının deneyimleri diğer satın alacak kişilere gerçekten önemli oluyor. Ve az önce söylediğim aslında kötü bir örnek vardı. Onu şurada verebilirim. Şu mesela kesinlikle Apple'ın yönergelerine uymayan bir paywall. Çünkü 7 günlük ücretsiz deneme yazıyor ve ücretsiz yazıyor. Yani böyle bir kullanım hiçbir şekilde yok. Ücretsizse zaten böyle bir buton olmaz, paywall olmaz. Bunu ben kendim denedim. Buna bastığınız zaman yıllık abonelik çıkıyor. Yani şu kullanım Apple'dan geçmez. Bu nasıl geçmiş bilmiyorum diyebilirim. Ve benim anlatacağım şeyler bu kadar. Umarım faydalı olmuştur. Hızlı bir şekilde anlatmaya çalıştım. Teşekkür ederim dinlediğiniz için.
Çok sağ ol, çok teşekkürler Murat. Ben istersen sana çok kısa bir soru yönelteyim. Burada bu subscription modellerini belirlerken burada hangi kategoriye göre hangi subscription, burada yıllık mı yapmamız gerekiyor, işte aylığa mı fokuslanmamız gerekiyor? Bir kategorilerde farklılaşma var mı? Yoksa bunu stabil olarak her uygulamaya aynı modelleri mi uyguluyoruz?
Evet, güzel bir soru. Aslında biz de bunun üzerine çok düşünüyoruz. Burada aslında belirli bir kalıplar yok. Sizin planlarınıza göre ve ben yine burada şöyle bakıyoruz bu durumlara. Kategori bazlı bakıyoruz. Yani rakiplerin mesela fiyat araştırması yaparken de en çok zorlanan kişilerin hani ne kadar fiyat verelim aşaması zordur. Bu aşamada rakipleri denemeniz lazım. Bir de şöyle bir kural var. Netflix kuralı dediğimiz. Yani genelde insanlar fiyatları bir şeyle karşılaştırmak isterler. Diyelim ki Amerika'da Netflix 19.99'sa siz 50 dolar derseniz bir aboneliğinize diyecek ki Netflix'ten bile pahalı bu neden böyle ki diye kullanıcının aklında soru oluşabilecek. O yüzden ben bireysel olarak da ve müşterilerimiz de genelde şöyle rakip uygulamalara göre değerlendiriyoruz. Ama ilk başta benim şahsi önerim yıllık plan üzerinden gidilmesi. Çünkü kullanıcılar bildiğiniz gibi genellikle bir yıl boyunca kullanmıyor bu uygulamayı. Ama siz yıllık ücreti peşin aldığınız için yatırımlarınızı, örneğin reklam giderlerinizi daha iyi kurgulayabiliyorsunuz. O yüzden benim önerebileceğim yıllık seçeneği ilk önceliği almak diyebilirim kişisel olarak.
Anladım. Tabii yıllık zaten plandı. Zaten bir yıllık bir garanti bir ödeme de alınmış olduğu için
Evet,
daha app'ler için daha uygun bir süre zarfı oluyor herhalde. Hı
evet.
hı. Anladım. Çok teşekkür ederim. Çok sağ ol. And Claire, I also have a question for you. Like, would you like to share some tips for puzzle game marketers, especially for the puzzle game genre? Because you know it's a really like niche category, so I'm sure that you will be sharing really great tips for the puzzle game marketers.
Yes, so there is a lot of subgenre in puzzle, so I think it depends, of course, case by case of your subgenre. You know, like you even have a puzzle mechanic in hypercasual nowadays, and I will definitely not advertise the same ways if you are an IAP game. But if you focus on IAP puzzle game, I will say like it makes sense to do only gameplay creative, and it always makes sense to advertise on your best game environment, game mechanic, and also emotion. But I would say more and more it makes sense to add as well some narrative on this and some storytelling as well. So I would say try to have at least one trailer for your game and cut some sequences and use it, do some iteration on the sequences that you are cutting and mix it with the real gameplay creative once you know what is the top performing real gameplay creative. So first you do all the hypercausal methodology of having the top gameplay creative. So you know this one is the one that has the lowest cost per acquisition. And then you iterate on this creative and you add first at the beginning some narrative storytelling things and then you iterate, you try to add it in the middle, then at the end, and so on. And I think based on this, you are going to have different results. And it's actually what Metacore is currently doing. Like they took some story-driven trailer that they did last year, like the grandmother in the swimming pool, and they are using this rush with some new rush that they did this year, or for instance, Nora in the elevator and so on. And at the end of the day, it's always the same. They just do some iteration on the rush of the narrative. So I think like you pay once for, I would say, an expensive narrative from your game, because it's also what is going to make you get a proper USP, and you do some iteration on this rush. Because I think nowadays in puzzle you need to be honest to get more than only a game mechanic if you want to monetize with AAT, because it's a super crowded market, to be honest, and you need to be different. Basically, what is going to make you different than Royal Match? Even Royal Match gets some narrative at some point.
Yeah, I think right now, like nowadays, is like for all the genres, I think you need to like put some story behind. You had to combine it with something, because like people are getting bored with the same things over and over and again, right? As far as I understand. So as you also say, like for the like puzzle games marketers, there also can be like should be added some story behind, or I know like some examples like a world tour or something like that. So there should be some achievement step by step. Yeah, that really makes sense actually. That's right. Thank you so much for your answer. And Damla, I also have one question for you, and I would like to ask, in your opinion, for mobile games, what is the best revenue model? Is it also same as I asked Murat? Is it like depends? Does it depend on the genre, or like should it be like in-app like advertising or something like that? Like what is the best and the most efficient way for like monetization?
Actually, I think that the most way is the combining the whole things together, interstitial, rewarded, and the in-app purchases. We should combine them together. Maybe we cannot combine the in-app purchase part for the hyper casual game, but we can still sell something in the hyper casual games too. Like the remove ads is the most popular package in the hyper casuals game. And I think that the most important thing is that they combine all together. You can show and apply different strategy for the different player segment, because some players are okay with the watching interstitial, some of them are not. If you can detect properly who is okay with the interstitial, who is not okay with the interstitial, after detected these segments, you can apply different version. If I'm okay with interstitial, you can show me the loss of interstitial. But if I'm an in-app purchaser, I don't like the interstitial, maybe rewarders. At that point, you should push me to go to the in-app purchase part. But sometimes, mostly me as a Damla, I'm not the fan of the in-app purchase. I most probably go through with the rewarded videos to earn more in-game currencies or something like that. At that point, they should push me to watch more rewarded videos. This is my opinion, actually.
Like, should we analyze it by testing, or directly contact with you for all analysis?
Actually, they can contact me to get some view, actually get some tips, and we can guide them to do what can do. But mostly they should test. Okay, first we detect that some people, they are the in-app purchaser, and we detect that the not in-app purchase like valuable and worthless. If we detect the worthless group, we should first show the interstitial like an A/B test. We should show the interstitial half of them. The half of them never seen the interstitial. Then we compare the result. Is work or not? Maybe sometimes it doesn't work. It's important to check again that your target people. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I really want to say that we made a lot of webinars, but I think that was the most beneficial for all the like data and inside the market and everything. And I'm sure that like we answer all the questions. We clarified all the question marks in the people's mind. And again, I would like to thank everyone to participate in our webinar, for the speaker and also for the listeners who attended our session, spare some time asking questions, and we hope we clarify all your questions. And thanks so much again. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.